of RESTpoint. In this demo, we're going to take a look at the docs that can be generated and how you can make your own, use the current ones that are here. As your prototype is developing, you can use them as at various points of the development and use them for whatever fits your process. So right now our current prototype, if you've been following our iterations, we have some paths here. We used most of the resources available to us. We use array resource, data types, error responses, paths, logic, responses, webhooks. Now let's take a look at the documents. At any time when you have, your paths are in the middle of design, you can choose to take a look at OpenAPI, V2. Swagger UI is basically the try API. You can run guidelines checks to make sure everything is being designed properly. Maybe the naming, descriptions are there. We can view it in Redocly, which is another option apart from Swagger. Postman, these are collections. GraphQL, which we'll touch on soon. Design review docs. So what these are is that these are docs available to you. So if I hit, let's say OpenAPI v3, you'll see there's the script or the OpenAPI document. A lot of times users need to customize these because the OpenAPI, they want to have little changes maybe in the way it's generated. So each of these docs you can come down here and see. So for OpenAPI, you'll see that you can follow the script and it becomes pretty easy to modify and to read if you wanted to customize this. So if I wanted to make my own version of OpenAPI v3, I would just come here and say create, and I'm going to say my OpenAPI, and I'm going to call this text plain, and then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to start with the OpenAPI template that's provided, and I might call this 3.03, and then I may go in and make some different changes. Let's say, as you read through this and understand it, I may not want, descriptions here, or I may want something changed here and there. I may want to remove the security scheme that we have here by default. So I'm going to add this document, and now you'll see we have one here called my OpenAPI. So when I come back to my path, I can come in here and see there, my OpenAPI is here. So when I click, it's basically going to be the same, except you'll see now we have OpenAPI 3.03 and have any of the changes that I've made. So you can make customizations to the current docs or really create your own doc altogether. I mean, it's really just the same thing again with the Apache Velocity syntax. A lot of the information is provided to you in the context, and you can just run logic and loops and work how you would like. So you'll see here we have all the paths. So to loop through all the paths, we just follow them through. And this is how we generate all the docs. And what comes in handy is especially things like common process documents like, let's say, guidelines check. So we made a default guidelines check that I can run. And whenever someone is designing the API, they can run the guidelines check and say, am I conforming to our guidelines? Well, if we made our guidelines be a contact has to be specified, check the paths have descriptions, check the path names use plurals, check the paths are lowercase, check the paths, these are descriptions, and then it gets into some other things like, check for duplicate names with case differences, check for duplicate names with separators. This is a good one from this is, IP address as one name, or if someone put IP underscore address, it would pick up all those differences. And if you want to see how all those checks are made, you just simply can go and see the script, and then you can start adding in all your own scripts as well. Same thing with a design review. A lot of the times you want to send something over and have some type of a document to give to folks. Well, here's a little design overview that gives, in our case, all the different APIs. So you'll see this is another view of all the APIs, what the resources are. Example, the errors, you'll see that was back when we overrode the errors. And then you can see all the different examples. So the nice thing about our docs is if you look at the doc and you say, well, I wish I had this, the nice thing is you can add it in there by simply editing the script. Something like the Postman doc, now this will return That's the collection. So if you want to save this file, import it into Postman, all your collections will be ready to go to hit this REST point prototype, and then you can really go through these very quickly. So we'll be expanding these docs, maybe adding tests and lots of other exports, because really it's endless with the combinations what you want to make. So the nice thing is when the APIs, sent them out for iterations to the users to try, once you have it coming pretty close to the user saying this looks great, now when this gets sent to development, you have a real working prototype, really high fidelity, you have documents, you have OpenAPI, design reviews. So the nice thing is it really opens this up to all the different levels of management for approval, because you can generate docs and make it very easy for everyone to understand what this API is, all before end development and end production starts. That concludes this demo. Thank you.